The Simpsons.
You don't have to. We're only 30 seconds in. You don't have to try and be funny.
Well, listen, that's my idea for a theme song.
Is it?
Yeah,
I would like that. The BeardWags.
No, we call ourselves the Simpsons.
Oh, okay. No, I don't like that.
It hasn't been done before,
hasn't it?
Why is there a track that isn't being used?
Don't
It's making me nervous.
worry about it.
Okay.
You're giving away the magic. We don't want people to know what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They probably
We're both naked.
They probably think we're sat in a really professional studio,
Yeah.
not at a dinner table.
Don't. Don't. We're not sat in squalor. It's actually quite a nice living room.
It's all right.
Hey.
It's all right. Well, that's not a.
It's all right. Seem better. Imagine going into a dinner party and being like, the normal reaction is, "Oh, what a lovely home." You're like, "Well, it's fine."
I normally look around and go,
"If you like this kind of thing."
Nothing here of interest for me. What do you think of our house? Shit.
Do you want to know honestly, or?
Yeah.
We'll start with the living room. The decor is off. The floors are smelly.
The books are crap.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I'll be like, seriously, who reads Dan Brown? Come on.
Who reads Darren Brown the novel? Although, have you seen his? He's got like a book of his paintings that he's done.
No.
It's really cool. He's a really good artist.
I think he's a very clever guy, but I'm not a big fan. Personally, doesn't appeal to me.
That's fair. We're already getting off track.
Yeah.
Welcome back to BeardWags, everybody.
Hello.
This is number 8.
It is number 8.
And it seems like it's
number 9 overall.
Number 9 overall, because we've done the magic.
Episode 8, yeah.
Yeah. And it has yet again been a while since we've interacted.
It has been.
With microphones between us.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we speak every hour of every day on Facebook chat, which is
normally,
lazy considering we live next door to each other.
Well, yeah, it is.
What were we speaking about before?
It's like when I was playing Mario Kart with you over the internet, and I was like, just go fucking next door and play.
But then we wouldn't have the comfort of our own gamepads, because you can't connect 2 gamepads to one Wii U, can you?
That's fine. I normally play with a controller anyway.
Oh, do you?
Well, if I'm playing on my own, I play with the gamepad, but if I'm playing with other people, I play with a controller.
I miss the N64 controllers.
Do you?
Yeah. I just really like
controller. GameCube's one of my favourites.
GameCube's good. Xbox 360. Yeah.
360 might be the most comfortable of the current stuff, I think. The Xbox One's okay, the PS4's okay.
PS4 I like because they seem to have taken a lesson from Xbox in the sense that they've got the indented thumb analog stick rather than it used to be convex. Now it's concave for the grip, and it's got little the R buttons at the top are triggers now rather than just slippy buttons.
Yeah.
A friend we used to have this debate about which was the better controller, and I always said PS3 because I had one. But actually I kind of agree with him now. I hope he's not listening because he loves being right.
The 360 one is just comfort, and also I'm playing with that a lot at the moment because my Alpha came with one to play games.
Oh yeah.
So
your new computer,
my Alienware Alpha. Yeah.
Let's shout out to Alienware, and then we'll put it on Twitter, and then they'll send us 6 free computers.
Well, I just want to say that for PC gamers who already play PC games, it's not aimed at them. Like, they can build a computer and that's what they're after. For console gamers looking to dip their toes into console PC gaming, it's a good shout. And for what I needed and for the price I paid, it's perfect. And it's not been able to. It hasn't failed on running a game at ultra settings yet, so I'm pretty happy with it.
I've had a little bash on it or watched you play it, and it looks good.
It's nice.
Sexy.
And also the fact that you can boot into Windows mode means that I can do the shit I need to do.
Can I ask you a solid?
Yeah.
Can you make your microphone a little bit higher and point it downwards towards your mouth? Because my only worry is that because it's a bit upwards, it would pick up some of my vocalisms.
Don't ever say solid again, and I'll make sure to do whatever you ask of me.
Well, I don't know how you expect me to avoid the word solid when your mum is in question.
Oh.
She wasn't even in question.
No, and how is she solid?
Oh, no,
I don't know what that means.
My penis.
Oh, yeah.
No, I wasn't saying your mum's like a rigid person who can't move. That would be a weird insult.
So what you been up to?
Nothing. Oh, I went to Jersey. My family are from Jersey.
Yeah, I was going to say you haven't been up to nothing.
Yeah.
So.
No, I went home for the Easter holiday, which essentially is just a bank holiday weekend.
But it's 4-day weekend.
4-day weekend, yeah. So I went home on that Friday and then came back on the Monday. Well, no, now here's the story. I was meant to come back on Monday. Got to the airport. Last flight on Monday was my flight when I was coming back. Got to the airport, checked in, went through security, waited, went through, got my duty free, went to the gate, boarded the plane, taxied down the runway, went to take off. Halfway through taking off, the plane slammed to a halt.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't like an immediate brake, but it was there was force in the opposite way, so it had to stop itself from taking off. And then it taxied round again and parked up, and the lady came out, the captain, she was like, sorry, something's wrong. But then she was like, don't worry at all, which was a weird way to say that. She was like, there's something wrong with the plane, but don't worry. And everyone was like, okay, that's weird. So she came back in a bit and said, oh, there's something wrong with the auto feathering system, which sounds completely made up.
Yeah.
But ultimately what it meant was we sat on the plane for about 20 more minutes whilst they did stuff. And then she came out again and was like, listen, there's no point you sitting in here. It's hot and it's like you're all packed in together. You're going to have to get off the plane and go back into the
So let's take our clothes off.
Whee! And then it turned into a big flyby orgy.
Sweet.
And so we went inside it, and I'd kind of, because I grew up in Jersey coming to England, so I kind of am used to getting planes. I kind of knew that it wasn't going to go, but I waited around anyway. I said to the lady, can I just go home and get on the flight tomorrow morning? And she was like, yeah, just wait till 10 and then we'll give you all an update. Sure enough, she came back at 10 and was like, the plane's not going. You're going to have to come back tomorrow. And I was like, okay, because it wasn't their fault. It was like the plane. Basically, what they were saying was there might be something wrong with the plane, and instead of risking death, let's just go on a different plane tomorrow.
In those kind of situations, there's just no point in complaining.
Well, now, this is my problem, and a big theme for me at the moment is people's sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
And what really pissed me off was the poor lady who'd been sort of trying to shepherd people through the airport last thing at night before she goes home.
Yeah.
Made the announcement saying, I'm sorry, the flight's not going. You'll have to, we'll rebook you on the one tomorrow morning, as soon as we can. And a lady stood up. She was like, well, that's just not good enough. and I was like looking at her in disbelief. Like I didn't say anything because I didn't want to get involved. But I felt like saying, what the hell do you mean it's not good? The plane isn't working. How is that not good enough?
Yeah.
It's not cool that the plane's not working, but it's no one's fault. It's like she wanted like someone to give her a lift to Southampton.
Yeah.
And I just, it's just, her only concern was what she wanted to do.
Yeah, we get people like that at work sometimes where you're trying to do DPA. I don't know what it's like, for people who listen who aren't in England, but for those in England know that there's a law called, Data Protection Act, which means that if your information is, censored, so not just anyone can get it, and people are like, you call them up or they call you and you're like, I'm really sorry, I can't touch you, you're not named on this account.
Yeah.
Well, I live here, so why can't I talk about it? Because it's not you.
Because you can't.
Well, my answer, when people get really shitty, my answer is like, would you be okay if I walked into your bank and said I was you and took some of your money out? No, you wouldn't.
What if they said yes? What if they were like, yes, I would?
Yeah, I'd be like,
and then you'd
which
hang
is
up.
funny once, because my bank gave me money without seeing ID before. I just gave them my bank card, and I was like, can I have £300 please? And they just gave it to me. They didn't ask for ID, they just had the card.
Do you know, I went into to town with one of my colleagues the other day. We had to do something for work, and one of the errands was going into the bank to pay something in for work. And while she was doing that, she did something for her own banking as well.
Yeah.
But so she signed the bit of paper and gave it in to the guy with the card, and he was like, your signatures aren't the same. And she was like, what do you mean they're not the same? It's my signature on both things. Because I think she signed two things and they were slightly different. He was like, yeah, the signatures don't match, sorry. And she was like, well, they do match because they're both me, and I did them both.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, they don't, sorry. And it was really awkward, like, this really like fake British politeness.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, would you want me to do it again? And he goes, yeah. So she just really obviously in front of him like signed this like thing and did it again. She was like, is that better for you? He was like, yep.
Ali, my girlfriend, said that her sister went to a bank once to take some money out, and she showed her passport, and the guy went, "I can't accept this. This could be anyone."
What? Fucking vague magician language. Like, this could be anyone.
Your passport, which is pretty much your identity, you know, you have to get people to sign it to say it's you, you know. And he was like, "No, this could be anyone."
I love like inane sayings like that. I heard one today, which was like someone. What was weird? So, as you know, I work at a radio station. I was speaking to the news department. Some member of the public had posted on our company Facebook page a news update. So no one knows who he is, just a random person. And he put pictures. He was like, "This is the breaking news" and stuff. And he's just like some weirdo, I think. And underneath, he was like, "More news as it happens." I was like, well, when else would the news happen? Like, more news when it might not happen.
It's called news, not olds.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's why it's called news, because it
happens.
It's new and it happens.
Yeah, it's not like our top stories today. William the Conqueror has.
The Canterbury Tales have been completed.
Yeah, and Margaret Thatcher has taken throne of England's Prime Minister.
What?
I don't know. Don't they get a throne? Nah. Sometimes they probably sit on the Queen's throne.
I'll build her a throne out of dog shit.
Ah, but she's dead.
Yeah, still.
I'll build her a throne out of dog shit. Hey, nah, you probably don't want to hear a story about dog poo.
Go on.
So, this is another bee in my bonnet. People who don't pick up their dog shit.
Oh, I hate it.
And I was speaking to a friend who had the idea of, if you going out on walks without a dog, just if you see someone, like, hopefully if you go up on the South Downs or something, you'll see people with dogs, and you'll see one of them poo and then walk away without picking it up. What you should do, what we're saying would be really funny and perfectly illegal and probably quite polite, is to take poo bags with you, pick up the poo that you see, not in a creepy way, but follow this person home, ring on their doorbell and be like, "I'm really sorry, but I think you dropped this.
You forgot your poo.
You forgot your poo. You dropped it on the Downs. I didn't want you to lose it." And then just give it to them.
I've said to people before, like, "Excuse me, you know, your dog's doing a shit." I remember one time I was walking through town, and like dog poo and littering gets me as well, because there aren't many situations where there isn't a bin nearby.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're carrying around a crate. You've got a little wrapper, put it in your pocket until you get to a bin.
Oh yeah, just throwing it on the floor.
Tubby, fat, little cunt was, I just wanted to say cunt. 12 minutes.
Tubby 12 minutes in, and we're cunting about.
Tubby little cunt with his grandma. You could tell he was spoiled. I mean,
was he a nan kid?
Yeah, basically. What a boffin. He was walking along and he was fucking smashing his face with chocolate, and he just dropped the wrap. She watched him drop the wrap on the floor. And I picked it up and went, "Excuse me, he just chucked this on the floor." And she was like, "So?" And I was like,
"Really?"
Yeah. And I was like,
"So?"
Well, I was rude. I was like, "Do you think you could put it in a fucking bin?" And just shoved it in her hand and walked off.
Nice.
Because I was so annoyed, because she was like, "So?" She should have been like...
She wasn't a nice old granny then. She was like a bit of a rude boy gran. She
should have been like, "Look, you're small. This is the time to teach you, not, you know, take Tubby for another cake and let him discard the rubbish."
I wonder if it was Dudley.
Probably.
Dursley.
I should have kicked him in his head.
You should have done. I'm kind of glad you didn't, though. I'm kind of glad your first reaction wasn't, "I'm going to kick that kid in the head."
No, I normally I would just ignore it. Sometimes I'd be tempted to just pick the rubbish up and put it away myself, but this time I was like, I'm going to say something, because she watched him drop it.
I have this little rule with myself that if I'm walking and it's not, you know, if I'm like, my hands are free and I see a piece of rubbish, I'll just pick it up and put it in the nearest bin. I mean, I'm not going to go around picking up people's rubbish, but if I like, it's almost like making eye contact with rubbish on the floor. I don't want to then turn away and go, "Well, I'm not picking that up."
No, I've picked it up. The dog thing reminds me of a funny story. We when we were little, we had a dog, and we were driving along one day, and it was
is that not the? Oh.
No, that's not the punchline. There isn't really a punchline, but we were. It was really hot, and we were taking the dog to the beach, and we were stuck in traffic, and some dude was walking his dog. He was about an arm's length away from where we were, and his dog had pooed, and he was smacking it with a newspaper.
Why?
Calling it a dirty shit for pooing, which is what dogs do.
What's it meant to do?
Do you know what?
Store everything up until it explodes.
This was my mum's second husband, John, his name is. He leant out of the car and smacked the guy around the back of the head and went, "How would you like it if I hit you every time you did a shit?"
Oh, amazing. That's the best reaction. What did the guy do?
He started shouting at us, but we just like drove off. But the poor little dog, it's like
dog.
That you take them on a walk so they can do their business.
Yeah. Maybe this guy was like, he only liked it if the dog shat in his house.
Yeah.
Like he
I take you for a walk as a treat.
Yeah, don't ruin it by shitting.
He was proper walloping the dog. I felt bad for it.
So long story short, what we were talking about before was my flight home.
Sorry.
Or short story long rather. We're now 15 minutes in and we're still saying hello to each other. But I missed my flight. I had to go back the next day, which was kind of cool because I got another night at home with my mum and dad.
Yeah.
But I did miss work the next day. Well, I actually went into work for 1 hour, which it's half an hour drive away. So the amount I commuted that day was the same amount of time I was in work for.
Yeah.
But that's dedication, and it showed because I passed my probation on Friday.
Well done.
So thank you. I'm now.
That's
they now can never fire me.
That's not related to work. He's just got a bit of a drink problem, and his probation officer has to see him.
Yeah. I've got one of these ankle. What's it called? Tags. I'm not allowed.
You got a super Rasbo.
That would be so cool if you weren't allowed more than 100-meter radius out of your house. Actually, it would be cool for a day.
Why would it be cool?
Because then you could just be like, "Oh, I can't come to work today. I'm a prisoner."
Yeah, but you'd lose your job for committing a crime.
That's true. I have not thought this through.
We had someone on our training at work who was there until the last week of training, and then he got marched off site because it turned out the day before he started training, he'd been on a tag and he'd lied about it.
What a dick.
Yeah.
Why would you... I love the kind of lies that people are like, no one will find out for a bit.
Yeah, he said that he didn't have any convictions, and he did. The thing is, if he'd admitted it, he probably would have been fine. But the fact he lied, and then they found out.
Well, there are laws that... I mean, you can't just not hire someone because they've been to prison.
Oh, no, you have to hire them. But the thing is, he lied about it, and they can fire you for that.
Yeah, definitely, because you're being a dick. That's my main theme that I've... Apart from the self-entitlement thing... is what I've been talking about a lot, and I feel like this is the, if I ever become some sort of messiah, which I might at some point, depends how busy I am. The one commandment you need: don't be a dick. Do you think that's true? Don't you think that's all you need?
Well, there's probably a few other things, but in everyday life, just don't be a dick is a fairly good rule to live by. Yeah,
it's like thou shalt not commit adultery. Someone goes, old matey boy down there's committed adultery. You go, what a dick.
Yeah, but
if he hadn't been a dick, he wouldn't have done it.
It's a good rule, but you do have to break it down into specifics sometime.
True. Otherwise, they'd be like,
in circles of adulterers, they might be like, "What a cool dude."
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. He goes and tells his adultery friends, and they're like, "Nice one, guy."
Yeah.
How was your long time? We haven't recorded in about 2 weeks, have we?
Just
shy of 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'm good.
Anything new to report?
I've been doing Slimming World for 2 weeks. I need to lose some weight.
You have done already?
I've lost 8 pounds in 2 weeks. Yeah, half a stone.
And that was just the membership fee.
I've got my little certificate here that says £half to Stev White.
Stev White.
Half a stone, sorry.
Not half a pound. You don't get a certificate for half a pound.
Imagine that if you got one for every half a pound you lost. I've lost 3 stone. You're carrying like a file of facts around.
And you have to carry it in your wallet wherever you go. Let me see this.
Yeah, no, I lost half a stone. The thing is...
you what.
Yeah.
Stev White.
Stev White.
As they spelt it. That's actually really cool.
It's nice, isn't it?
I'm going to take a picture of you with it now, and then we'll put it on the Twitter.
The thing is, like, I want to lose some weight for... I'm posing for a picture right now.
You're quite handsome.
Thank you. You're not too bad yourself.
Thanks, baby.
I like... I'm obviously seeing a doctor...
That was me sucking you off.
Thank you. Seeing a doctor for sleep apnea, and losing weight is can deal with sleep apnea. So if I lose weight and I've still got it, then we know that there's other stuff that needs to be done.
It's kind of like a prescription. Your prescription is lose a bit of weight, see if the sleeping still doesn't happen.
I needed to lose weight anyway, so it's the perfect time to do it. I've been swimming and...
You've been swimming twice a week for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, and keeping that up, like... Swimming is just really good exercise in general. Even if it doesn't feel like you've done that much, you still like you're using all different muscles that you're not used to
Apparently
using.
swimming's one of the best workouts you can do.
And also,
and actually, I enjoy swimming.
And it's a good excuse for you to have a wee in the pool, which you told me you
never done that.
Well, you said to me the other day.
No, I didn't.
You did?
No.
No, that was a poo. You did a poo in the pool.
Yeah, that was it, yeah.
My dad always used to say this thing where he was like, I got told off by the lifeguard at the beach the other day for weeing in the pool. I didn't think they'd notice, but I was standing on the shore at the time. Not the pool, the sea. Fuck! I ruined it. Oh,
no, I like swimming. It's fun. And when I get paid, I'm going to buy some new trainers and go running in the evenings, I think.
I was going to say, when I get paid, I'm going to buy a swimming pool.
Imagine that. You'll just come home one day and in the back garden there's a swimming pool.
How cool would that be? That'd be the best.
I'd be in it all summer.
Imagine like hot summer night, like a pool lit up, just lying like with a book, or like I was going to say a beer, but your one's probably more intellectual, and you just have a lilo and you're looking at the stars.
Yeah, it's cool. Other than that, Slimming World, I went to see Blind Guardian at the weekend.
No, I haven't heard of these guys, but what did you call them? A German melodic metal band?
It's sort of symphonic metal. It's not. I mean, their earlier albums are quite thrashy, but the later ones are very melodic, and they sing songs about Lord of the Rings and
cool.
Wheel of Time, a lot of fantasy books and stuff. And the lead singer's got a great personality. His stage presence is very sort of egomaniac, but the audience were awesome. Like there was one point where they finished a song, and the chorus to the song, the audience just carried on singing it after the song had finished.
No way.
And the band just stood there for like 3 minutes whilst everyone was singing at them, and they were just, you could tell they were really humbled.
That's cool.
They were really happy. And
I love it when you see bands who still act like it's their first big gig. Yeah. Like every gig they do, they're just amazed by the amount of people that turn up to see them.
I got some cool videos of it as well.
Cool. You'll have to show me afterwards.
But yeah, they're cool. They did an album. My favourite album's called Nightfall of Middle Earth, which is based on the story of the Silmarillion.
Oh, cool.
And it's easier to listen to than it is to read the Silmarillion. So if you want to get that story, listen to that. Don't bother with the book. That's true.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'm an expert on Tolkien. I've listened to all the what are they called?
Blind Guardian.
All the Blind Guardian albums.
Do you know, I read somewhere, I don't know if it's verified, but I read somewhere that they actually got invited to be involved in the Lord of the Rings soundtracks, but couldn't because they were touring or something.
That's really.
I don't know if that's true.
What a bad excuse.
I don't know if that's true.
And I'll tell you what, they probably also didn't know how big it was going to be.
No, that's true. Well, neither did the people that made it.
No, so. That's true. And that was one of the... We've talked about this. We won't go into it again.
But other than that, Blind Guardian were amazing. I'll probably write a little review, but it was a good 2-hour set. They did 2 encores.
Oh, nice.
Including like the full 10-minute Wheel of Time song and everything.
Check them out, Blind Guardian.
Blind Guardian, yeah.
I'm going to check them out.
And then on no, that's it really. As you know, I've kind of been off work, so I've just been writing a lot and exercising.
You've been pretty proactive. I mean, it could have been quite tempting to just do fuck all, which you have definitely not done.
No, I've been trying to do a lot, and even if it's just going for a walk or,
you do look healthier. Like you. I mean, I hope you don't mind me saying that in the past you've had pretty like baggy eyes. Like you could tell that you weren't sleeping. It seems like, I know you're still having the sleeping problems, but you just look like there's more colour to your face, and you just look happier.
I'm trying to be better,
Trying to be a better Steve, a better Stev.
Yeah.
Should we do some emails?
Yeah. Shall we jump right in?
Yeah, let's jump in.
Chiro, right?
Chiro. Yeah, and it's Louis or Lewis, and I think you said you didn't mind either, but don't quote me on that.
No. He, to paraphrase, because it's quite a long email, but we're never not going to answer them. He's having a bit of a dilemma about school or college and university at our level, but in America, I think college.
Yeah, sure.
And he's trying to decide if he should finish his course or stay working.
Yeah. So and the course is web design, is it?
Web design, and his job is involved in similar sort of areas.
Yeah.
I mean, my answer kind of, and it's probably going to sound like a cop out, but is really to do what makes you happy.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If you're questioning something, it's usually because you're not entirely happy with where you are.
Yeah.
So that either means you need to take a step in a different direction, or you need to work out what makes you happy about what you're doing and then follow that path.
Exactly.
What I know is, I don't think you really need a degree to be to do what you want to do. If something like web design, if you have the portfolio and the knowledge and the proof that you can do what you're doing, a bit of paper saying, yeah, I went here and this is my degree, isn't going to help, especially if you get yourself known in the industry. Sure, it's good to have a degree if you want like a, you know, prestigious job, like, I don't know, if you're doing law or something like that, then you need to obviously have passed the bar or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, degrees help. You've got undergraduate courses and stuff, but the reality is, for something like web design,
I don't mean to like sweep web design under the carpet. Like, I don't mean law is better. I just mean web design is a creative output.
Like, you would have to go to uni to be a doctor.
Yeah,
but there are certain creative things that really that you could walk out with a master's in that and still not get a job, because the way you're going to get a job in web design or design of any type is by doing it. Just doing lots of it and getting better and creating a portfolio and going out there and getting your name out, you know, contacting companies and saying, I can do your website better.
Yeah.
You know, just doing it lots. So you could have a degree and that's great, and you've spent 4 years of your life doing it, but...
Does it say he lives with his parents whilst he's doing this, or is he in... I'm not sure if it says.
I don't think it says.
Now, it sounds like we're leaning towards quit uni and do working, but I think since you're already at uni, I'm never a fan of quitting things.
No.
I think enjoy it whilst you can. For me, my days at uni were the best of my life, and not because of the education side of it. I think that I made some of the best friends there, and I had some of the best times. I met my girlfriend at uni. We've been together 4 years. So, nice. I'm not saying you stay there until you meet the love of your life, but I think that you can definitely unlock ways of enjoying it more than you are before you just throw in the towel.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're not definitely saying quit. I think for me it boils down to, if you're really not happy, then don't stick it out for the sake of it. But if there's something you can take away from it that you are enjoying, then you should finish it, especially if you're halfway through. Like,
yeah. It's like when you're halfway through a wank, you don't go, oh, do you know what? I know what's going to happen, and I'll probably have a better time eating a sandwich.
Yeah. Sometimes you probably would.
Well, I've had some really good sandwiches and some really shit wanks.
I mean, if it's like your third wank of the day, you're a little bit sore, you might be like...
And it just dust comes out like...
Yeah. Is it worth finishing this, or are my hands going to be so blistered I can't play Xbox later?
Yeah.
You know? But
so you've got to... Don't count your chickens before they've hatched or whatever.
My regret is not going to uni. I had a chance to, I've said it before, I had a chance to, and I got guilted out of going, and that's one of the few things in life at this point. I mean, I regret a lot of stuff, but I'm an adult now. I'm pretty happy with my life.
Well, you're actually thinking of looking at higher education courses.
Well, actually, yeah, I'm going to an open day in May, and I'm going to go back and do it now.
Yeah.
Whilst I'm not going to say whilst you still can, because you can do it at any age, but it makes sense to do it now.
You're there. The worst thing you could do is quit and regret it, or waste your time there and regret it. So if my advice is just have as much fun as you can. Don't take it too seriously. Sure, you're paying for an education, whatever, but ultimately the main reason everyone goes to uni is to get laid.
And the thing is, this isn't a snap decision. You've got time to think about it. You know, you can assess it. You don't have to make a decision now. And look, if you really want to talk about
it... yes, you do, actually.
Why?
Right now. We want an email next week to say what you're going to...
I'm just going to say...
Just kidding.
Ultimately, whatever you decide, I think your friends and your family will support you, so long as you're following what you believe in. And if you want to talk about it in more detail, we can answer emails. You know, if you want a more personal perspective, then drop us an email. But for now, I think let us know what you do. I want to hear. And do.
So in conclusion, our answer to your question of what should you do, we don't know.
Yeah.
But to be honest, you have to do what makes you happy.
Let us know.
Find out what happiness means to you and then follow that. We're good at this.
Thank you. Shall we move on to the next email?
Yes.
Stephen Whitaker.
Oh, hey man.
Hey Steve.
This was a cool email. It was nice to hear.
Yeah.
From you.
Steve emailed after the Magic episode, which I thank you for listening. I've had I'll tell you about someone else after this.
Yeah.
Steve emailed about Magic because he listened and he used to play back in 2005. He mentions here during Ravnica he played. And
do you know, when I read that in my head, I was like, oh, so not that long ago, but that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, Ravnica. Return to Ravnica was recent. So some pretty rough stuff happened.
Yeah, it seems like you've been through a lot, which is rough. We won't go through it on the podcast because it's not really for us to read out.
No, some pretty shitty stuff happened to Steve, and I'm really sorry to hear it.
And just to clarify for listeners, and I hope you don't mind us saying, Steve, the rough stuff, what happened, is kind of the reason you stopped playing. Is that right?
Yeah, that's my understanding of it. Now, Steve says that he was big into Commander, and after these circumstances he stopped. He hasn't played since Dark Ascension, so that's quite a while. And he's kind of asking if it could be aimed at you as well, but I guess I talked about Magic a lot, so.
I mean, with Magic, I only play because you play.
I mean, he's asking us both, but I guess kind of I was always going to be the one that would have to answer it. So, Steve, honestly, I think you should come back to Magic.
I agree.
I've made friends playing Magic, and we've moved on to play other games together. I'm not going to say like they're my best buddies in the world, but I've made some really close friends, and there's a tight-knit. I think you build communities around gaming in ways that certain other social aspects don't quite manage.
Well, this is my experience with Magic. I'm not a very experienced player, but you taught me to play. We got to know each other just through talking about the things we like. You said, I'm just got into Magic. I'll teach you to play. So you taught me to play. We became very good friends, and now we do a podcast together.
Yeah.
I also met a friend of yours, Tom. Hi, Tom, if you're listening.
Hey, Tom.
Who I met once. Awesome guy. We played Magic together. You guys came around here. And it feels like I know him more than just the one meeting, because I don't know, it was just all boundaries are all sort of blockades are down when you're playing a game against each other.
When you're playing, especially casually, when you're with your friends, you chat shit, you talk about cards, and there's the whole road trip aspect as well, which he talks about, which I understand why you might not necessarily want to get back into that aspect of Magic, but hanging out with your buddies, going on a trip to play games and talking about what you're going to play, to me sometimes talking about Magic is just as exciting as playing it. Like, I wouldn't say it happens all the time, but I still get messages now being like, "Oh, Steve, what do you think of this? Can we test some decks on this day?"
Yeah.
And I'm not the best player in the world. I enjoy it, but I'm happy that people value my opinion about these things. And Steve, honestly, you say you're not into the competitive scene. Buy yourself a pre-constructed Commander deck. The 2014 sets, the black, red and white ones are spectacular, but they're all pretty good. Try and find a local store or some other friends that are playing, and honestly, and try it out. And seriously, if you want to talk about it more, email us, or I can email back and give you my personal email, or Twitter or whatever. And if you really want to get into it, I'm happy to help you in any way I can. But I think you will make new friends, and you'll bond over it.
Yeah, and not to seem out of line, if I'm saying this, I don't want to seem out of line, but I understand that the reason you stopped is because of the memories you have that sort of maybe will bring back the shitty things.
Yeah.
But it also, from what you said in the email, you had some wicked times playing Magic, so perhaps getting back into it will bring back those memories, so the good memories and not necessarily the bad ones.
I'm sure your buddy would want you to still play.
Absolutely.
I can't say for definite, but it sounds like you had a really good thing going, and it's sad what happened, and I couldn't even begin to understand how you must have felt. But I think coming back to Magic I think you'll feel better. I think it
is really good escapism.
Yeah, and casual, definitely. Like, you don't have to build yourself a tier 1 standard or modern deck and start taking down qualifiers. Buy yourself a Commander deck and go to a casual Commander evening. A lot of stores run them. I mean, we don't run a specific one at the store I go to, but on a Wednesday or Thursday when they're open for casual gaming, there's normally people knocking about. The first couple of times I went on my own was daunting, but now, I've got a little bit of a reputation, and it's quite fun to be able to go.
You went in not knowing anyone. You went into Magic not even knowing really anyone who played. No, Mungo. Sorry, the cat's jumped on the table.
Oh, sorry.
Chuck him out.
Yeah, it was scary the first time I played, but here I am now, and it's one of my favourite things.
And you go to the store like twice a week?
Yeah.
And like, I think,
it got me back into D&D.
Where is this chappie from?
From America, I believe.
Okay.
Let me just double check. Michigan, US, and America.
Michigan. I bet he hates that. I bet
probably.
It's like when American people do British accents, and we're like, that's terrible. It's probably the same when British people do American accents.
America has a huge magic scene.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if there wasn't a comic book store or something down there that you could go to and play for fun. So
I would say jump in. I would agree with Steve. Jump in, get back into it, and think of it as not revisiting something painful, but just like a fun way to meet new people.
And also, dude, if you want to, email me your Skype and we'll Skype and play. I Skype and play with my buddies.
Oh, can you do that, like on video and that?
Well, there's no reason why not. I do it with Tom sometimes
if
we're bored.
Cool.
If like we're bored of playing a game, I'll be like, do you want to grab your deck and Skype a game? So, dude, if you are worried about going out and playing again, I'm happy to give you some tips and stuff.
Yeah. Wicked.
Sweet.
So thanks for your email.
Yeah, moving on. We got an email from someone on YouTube called Mr. HBoss007.
Mr. HBoss007.
Cheers, HBoss.
Cheers, Mr. 007.
Asking if we've still got a copy of Ready Player One.
No. Just kidding.
Well, Mr. HBoss007, the thing is, it was kind of a competition, so you've got to email and answer the question.
Yeah, you Mr. Cheater.
Yeah. So we have still got it, but we asked you to email, so maybe drop us an email and we'll send it to you with your address.
Well, yeah, you need to give us your address anyway.
Email, not YouTube, but email us your address, because the competition quite clearly said beardwags@gmail, not beardwags on YouTube.
We are merciful, so we will let you have the copy of the book.
Yeah, I'll be generous enough to let you have it. We might throw in a few other goodies.
We might both put lipstick on and kiss a page of the book as well.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
My cat is putting his arsehole on your board game that you brought with you.
That's fine. So, Mr. HBoss, we'll look forward to hearing your email.
Yeah, and it's cool that you want the book. I've actually started reading it. I'm about halfway through now, nearly, and it's good. It's very good.
It's a sweet book.
It is. BeardWags@gmail.com, if you didn't know.
And then, lastly, is...
I know.
Yeah.
Faux hammer.
I do have egg on my face.
Yeah, well, me too, a little bit,
because Tolkien was my first fantasy love. I used to know those books inside out, so to be caught out and not know.
Just to clarify, Steve used to fantasize about Tolkien.
Yep. Don't be jealous.
Oh.
Glamdring, Gandalf's weapon, and the faux hammer context slipped me. I was like, faux hammer? Where's that come from? Some sort of creepy superhero. Yeah. When actually it's Lord of the Rings. So look.
It was actually, that was a cool email as well. It was nice to get that insight that you actually listened and was like, no, I'll call these guys out on their bullshit.
Do you know what I like as well? This little bit here where he says, I was surprised when Steve thought it was just some made up villain name, being the knowledgeable geek that he is.
Fuck you, man. I'm knowledgeable. I know stuff.
So he's
ask me any question. What's 1 million times 2? 2 million.
Nice.
Sorted.
Nice. He asks his bonus question I'm going to do first, because he asks. He says, Steve mentioning his shitty teenage emo poetry makes me want to ask if you have any other cringe-worthy moments from your teen years.
Oh, God.
You got one?
You go first, because I'll need to think.
Go on. Right, the first one that jumped into my mind, and it makes me look bad, but, it's cool. When I grew up in Wales, I went to school in Wales, so I grew up there for a few years, and to get to school, I had to get, like, a bus 5 minutes down the road and then another 16-minute coach to school, because it was far away, and when we moved I didn't want to transfer to a different one because all my friends were at my old school. So peace out to a school different Conway posse. All like 3 of you that I still talk to. So I got a bus to the end of the road and then I had to wait by a petrol station, and sometimes I'd be waiting for like half an hour.
Yeah.
And being at the age I was, about 15, 16, I discovered I liked girls. It took me a while. Like I didn't start jerking off.
Yeah, you were a late bloomer.
Yeah, so they sold porn in there.
Where, in your school?
No, in the petrol station. I just said I had to wait by the petrol station. So sometimes I used to creep in there and look at like the porn and get told off and stuff. They'd be like, "Hey,
creep in there."
Yeah, like go in the petrol station and look at porn.
What would they be like?
Hey,
get out of here,
little boy.
Hey, scram!
But this ain't no library.
This is a petrol station, not a library.
And so I used to. The most embarrassing I think was. Oh God, I can't believe I'm saying this on the podcast.
Did you wank at the petrol station?
Yes.
No way, did you?
I snuck one. Now, the first time I did it, right?
First time you did it?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not a clever criminal, right? I snuck it into my coat. I went into the toilet, smashed one out, like when you're 15, 16, it doesn't take long to say it. Like
what you stole the magazine?
Well, no, I slipped it into my thing because there was a toilet in the petrol station.
Oh.
Went in there, jerked off. Now as a 15, 16-year-old, like it never crossed my mind to just take it. So I used to creep in there, jerk off, and then go put it back on the rack.
That you were an honest wanker.
Now here's the worst one. This is the really embarrassing. I took it in once, and
go on.
I came on like one of the.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Came on like one of the ladies.
No.
By accident.
Oh.
Like on the page by accident. And that would have been the point to throw it away, but I didn't. I put it back on the rack.
Oh, Stephen.
I can't
What happened?
I just
Did someone buy it?
No, I don't know. I didn't do it again after that because I felt really bad.
Listen, chances are it didn't get bought and it got chucked away.
But can you imagine if you bought that?
Why didn't you wipe it off?
Well, I tried, but it still would have made some like mess on the page, wouldn't it? Like, and you're 50.
Did no one ever catch you?
No, well, I just stopped doing it because I felt bad. You know, I heard that.
Eventually, I felt bad.
No, I only did it a couple of times, but
Okay.
I can't believe I just said that. That is embarrassing. But
Does Ali know?
probably not. No, I probably didn't tell her that. I mean, maybe. But
Does your mum listen?
I don't care.
Wow. I don't care. Shut up, mum. I'll wank wherever I want.
Plus, it was like 12 years ago. You know, it's.
Oh man.
Do you know? I read though that. Did you ever get it where like you would masturbate maybe and then afterwards feel guilty? Like I read that your body releases a chemical when you've masturbated or when you've had sex that actually genuinely makes males feel low.
I've never had
So
that.
the reason some people get really lethargic and want to sleep after sex is because of these hormones that have been released.
Oh, I get lethargic and want to sleep, but it's because I'm like, I just had sex, baby.
It's that chemical that's released. It makes you.
I guess it has different effects.
For different people, yeah. Like the first couple of times I touched my penis, I felt really bad, and I wasn't religious, so it wasn't like a religious thing. I was just like, "Oh my god, I shouldn't be doing this." And then I was like, "Why the fuck not?"
Maybe, yeah. Well, I guess you had a bit of a religious upbringing, didn't you?
But no, not at all.
Oh, I thought
Like none, no.
Oh.
But the thing is, do you know what the funny thing is?
Well, then there's no excuse.
But when I first discovered it, like touching your peen,
Yep.
that story, like for a couple of months I went at it like you do when you're a teenager, and then I just stopped. I never really did it again, like until I had sex for the first time. Like I'd never really jerked off. For the first couple of months after I discovered it, I went crazy, like, you know, masturbation fueled haze that my life was for like 3 months, and then after that I was like, that's enough.
It's kind of like the equivalent of discovering like in the 60s discovering like rock music and weed. Like you go, this is my life now, I imagine, from what I've seen in movies and whatnot.
And then stopping.
But then it's kind of like with porn and masturbation. We used to sneak into bloody, like, I remember this was weird actually, but we used to make pencil cases out of video boxes.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that?
Yeah.
And like would put stickers on, and it was like or like print things off, like pictures of like makes of skateboard, because I used to skateboard with my cool friends, and like a little loser, and like I don't know, like band like the Offspring. We were all into the Offspring and shit like that.
Nice.
And on the inside we'd put like pictures of naked women, and I remember the teacher finding them. And that wasn't an embarrassing story, but what I remember is we used to do that, and what we also used to put in there was like pictures from porn mags that we'd find like scrunched up in like bunkers in Jersey, because Jersey was occupied by the Germans, so there was bunkers built. We've talked about that. But people, for some reason, they just turned into big porn parties.
Why is that as well? Because I remember like there was some hut that me and my friends, like in Glan Conway in Wales, we found this like little island thing near the estuary, and it's like eating my folder.
Mongo,
We like
just throw some water on him.
we went down there, and there was a little hut on the way. And I remember I was like, "What's in this hut?" And it was mostly porn and discarded needles. Like, how was? I don't know what situation someone's in where they're not jerking off in their house, and then
I don't know why
discarding
someone
porn
goes, like, someone calls up their mate on Friday night going, "Hey, what you up to?" "Nothing, you?" "Well, I was thinking we could get some white lightning and a porn mag and go to a derelict house."
Yeah.
There's no way anyone's going, "Yeah, that sounds like fun."
And meet you at the fuck bunker at 8 for a porno and beer party.
Oh, I'll bring the heroin.
Yeah.
BYOP, bring your own porn.
Yeah.
But we used to like. I remember we wouldn't like jack off together or anything. But like
Liar.
friends, we were teenage boys.
Double Dutch runner.
You liar. But we'd find them and be like, oh, look at this one, and it was just naked women. Like, I'm used to it now.
My brother found we were in Llandudno. There's the Great Orme.
Llandudno.
There's the Great Orme, and we were walking up there, and we were like looking around some caves, and he found a really like this like scrumpled up porn that someone had obviously discarded there, and he wouldn't let it go. We were walking along, and there was a load of other people nearby because we were back on the trail.
Sure.
And in front of everyone, my stepdad just turned around and was like, "Look, Billy, if you want some porn, I'll buy you some porn. So just throw it away."
Wow. That's pretty cool. I don't have a story quite as embarrassing as wanking off to stolen magazines in a.
Well, they weren't
not
stolen.
Even stolen.
They were borrowed. It was like a library type situation.
You're so nice. You're like, I'm going to spuff on your magazines, but I'm not going to steal them.
The spuff was once, and that's when I stopped it because I was like, I have just damaged someone's property.
You're like, this masturbation isn't just affecting me anymore.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility.
I looked at myself in the mirror and thought, what have you become, 16-year-old Steve?
Like shaking your hand away to get the stuff off. My embarrassing story that I had in mind. Well, firstly, this is one that I only just remembered recently. On a year 6 test at school, it was a geography test. One of the questions was, what is the capital of North Korea? And I didn't know, but what I did know or have in my head was the word Viagra. I didn't know what it meant or where I got it from, but I remember on the test putting the capital of North Korea as Viagra.
You probably saw some in your dad's cabinet or something.
Probably, yeah, or my mum's cabinet, which is more worrying. But my main one, which I remember, is like this girl I used to hang out with when I was like 14, 13. I remember she used to like come and hang out at the house, and you know when it was like your first interaction with girls is like, let's kiss forever. And then you just like kiss, and that would be it.
Like going out with a girl when you were sort of 13,
when you were
14,
young, and then it was just like, let's hang out and kiss and hold hands and sit there holding hands doing nothing. I remember doing that, but then I got to the next level of hand on boob, under the shirt, over the bra, but under the shirt. I remember I was like, yeah, boobies, and then I was doing that, and we were just sitting there we weren't even kissing at this point. It was just hand on boob, sitting there entwined.
It was like an American Pie scene. Your friends were like, what's it like? And you're like, warm dumplings, fresh from a stew.
Yeah, pretty much. But then my dad walked in, because my dad has this habit of, this is one of the reasons why I don't like living at home. He'll just open at any door. He'll be like, hey, I'm here now. And luckily, I've never been having sex when he's done that or anything like that.
What did your dad say?
He was just like, sorry, and left. But
he did. He wasn't like, get your hands off them.
No, I think he was like, yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah. Walked in the next room, sparked up a cigar, and was like, now he's a man.
Yeah, he was like, oh, my dog.
When she left, he was like, yo, you get a feel on the bitches, son.
You got game, son. But no, it was very embarrassing, and he sort of laughed at me, and he probably doesn't even remember. But this is why when I have kids, I'm going to be so careful not to invade their privacy.
No, I remember like when I first moved up to Wales, so I was about 12. Yeah, I guess it was 12, 13. And like meeting, because it was a small village we moved into. It was a lot of kids my age.
Yeah.
And I picked up a nickname because back then I was really skinny and I had I had super fair hair. People used to think I bleached it. And this guy just saw me one day and he was like, hey, Ken. And I was like, what's that? And he was like, you look like Ken.
Shit,
and
Mongo.
I was like, what, from Street Fighter or Barbie? And he was like, both. So I got called Ken for years. But I remember once, like when I first moved there, some guy came up to me and was like, oh, this girl wants to make out with you. And I was like, right. He was like, just go down that alleyway.
Oh,
she's
no.
there. And being like 12, 13, I was like, okay. So I went down the alleyway, and she literally, it was like, I'm not going to say assault, but it was like sexual assault, so I am going to say it. She I walked around the corner and she pushed me up against one and just stuck her tongue down my throat.
Who, what, just another kid?
This girl that was in the village. She was a year older than me.
Oh my God.
And started making out with me. And then afterwards, she was like, oh, so we're going out now, and just walked off. And I was like, what the fuck just happened?
That's weird. It's like,
it was like my
she didn't even mug you or anything. Like, a guy was like, there's a girl around the corner for you.
They were like, I knew who she was. They were like, oh, she fancies you. She wants to make out with you. And I was like, I don't even think I knew what making out meant at that point. I was like, what's making out? So I went to see her and I was like, hey, and she just literally pushed me up against the wall and started kissing me. And then afterwards she was like, okay, so we're boyfriend and girlfriend, or we're going out now. And then she just was like, I've got to go home.
God, what a badass.
And then people were like, what's going on? And I was like, I think we're going out, but I don't really know if I like it. Like, I wasn't sure if the kiss was like, I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
It didn't turn, I guess I was 12, 13, it didn't turn me on. Like I said, I didn't really get interested for a few years.
No, but girls are fucking weird, man. Also, I remember asking a girl out in year 6 as well, the same year of the Viagra incident. And I really liked her, and she was a twin. And I remember I asked her out, or asked a friend to ask her out for me, as he used to do.
Yeah.
And the way she said no was her and all her girls, like there was about 6 of them in her little gang, all came and sort of cornered me, not in a mean way, but just wanted to gather me so that it was like a sort of secret for me and this girl, and they were like the wall protecting us. And she was like, I like you, I just think we'd be better as friends. I don't think it's fair on everyone else. And I was like, I remember not being that bothered. I was like more embarrassed about the fact that there were about 6 other girls.
Yeah, when you were like, it was daunting when you were a kid because girls moved in clans.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, I want to talk to that girl there, but I've got to wade my way. It was like getting to the boss fight at the end of a game stage. You had to fight all the minions to get there.
You did.
Now, this guy, that's a pretty embarrassing story, your dad walking in.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it tops jizzing on a porn mag and putting it back on the rack.
No, it does not top jizzing on a porn mag in a petrol station and putting it back.
So, Fohammer's other question here is, what is your favourite movie score / soundtrack?
Ooh, okay.
Go on.
Do I have to pick one?
No, you can say a couple, because I've got a couple.
Okay. But off the top of my head, my first one that comes to mind is Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, nice.
Because, I mean, they're just, like, a lot of them are very short little songs, but a lot of them also original.
Yeah, some of them
compositions.
Are, yeah.
The song, the Clash at Demon Head do, who have, like, they're actually a real band, aren't they?
Metro, yeah.
Metro. It's called
Black Sheep.
That's how much I like it.
Is that your favourite song?
But my other two are, and these are just going way back for me. The movies mean quite a lot to me, but also it really got me into some new music. After watching the film, I was like, oh, I'm going to listen to this band more.
Yeah. And
then I did. And those are Donnie Darko and Garden State.
Nice.
And I just the compilation of 80s music in Donnie Darko is excellent.
Yep.
As well as some of the ambience that
I suggest we record a podcast about Donnie Darko at some point, because it's I have a lot to say about it.
We need a podcast, a special episode about Donnie Darko.
Yep.
We need one about music.
Yeah.
Well, we need a few about music, maybe about bands we like, and maybe another one about movie soundtracks.
I like that.
So I feel like I want to go into more depth about it, but I feel like I can't justify it in the space of a couple of minutes.
Sure.
But those are my 3 big ones: Scott Pilgrim, Donnie Darko, and Garden State.
Nice. Good choices.
Thank you. What's yours? I'm going to guess one.
Go on.
Interstellar.
Yeah, it's a good guess. I do talk about it a lot. I like Hans Zimmer. He's a good composer. Even the fairly average Amazing Spider-Man 2 had a good soundtrack because he worked on it, and obviously his work on the Dark Knight stuff is unparalleled. Like, they're such moody, listenable soundtracks.
So unique as well. Like, creative in the way he composes.
And Interstellar is, for me, a truly immersive film because the soundtrack is good, the film's good. It's I've said it before and I'll probably say it again, but it's quite possibly my favourite movie.
You're like, by gum, I'll say it again.
Yeah,
you old man.
I could probably record a podcast just dedicated to my love of that movie because it is sublime.
You should do it and call it Intersteva or something.
I would say
Intersteva.
if you're wanting personal favourites from it, then Detach and Coward are my 2 favourite pieces of individual music
from Interstellar.
Yeah, because Coward has this big build up where there's a really cool sort of keyboarding sound in the back, and then it builds up as the song goes on, and the tension builds, and it's quite explosive. Scott Pilgrim will be up there. It's a good soundtrack. My favourite's Anthems for a 17-year-old Girl, I think it's called. Really good sort of moody kind of existential song. I like it.
Emo.
Kind of emo-y, yeah. And then Donnie Darko will probably be up there just because it's a great movie. But outside of that, Garden State's a good shout. Yeah. Garden State's a really good
we were talking before, Zach Braff he knows his music, I think.
Zach Braff can frame a scene around a song. It works so well. Like, you can tell he had a song in mind when he's writing it.
Yeah, I feel like that.
And a lot of that came off of Scrubs as well. Like, they picked good music to go with stuff.
Well, him and Scrubs creator, I've forgotten his name.
Bill Lawrence. They were like very good mates, weren't they? And they just listened to all the same music. My favourite song they picked on Scrubs is the I'm going to call it the season finale. They technically went on to make another.
Oh, really no, we don't talk about med school.
The closing of season 8, where he's standing in front of the projection, and it's playing Peter Gabriel's "The Book of Love."
Yeah,
it's one of my favourite.
It made me cry.
Yeah, it made me too. It's it was already a song I loved, and it was such a perfect song to end on. Like,
and here's what sucks about the ending of Scrubs. It was one of the only series that had a really satisfying ending.
Yeah,
and they ruined it by making more.
It was a great ending. I just love the bit where he's walking off, and it's like, and who's to say my fantasies can't be real or can't come true?
Come true just this once.
And he walks off, and it was just.
I'm getting emotional thinking about
perfect. Yeah, they did ruin it.
Yeah,
because there were
fucking Dave Franco. Go to hell, Dave Franco.
Iconic ending, I guess. I would put it up there with things like Friends and stuff, where just they picked like you couldn't have ended it a different way.
Like
really.
the finale music to Friends is just I don't know what it is, but it's just like,
I think it's just
quite instrumental.
Yeah, and it just pans around the empty
and
like
the keys.
That's a good ending. Yeah, there are some shows that didn't end very well, but that's got a good one. Scrubs. So those are my soundtrack choices, and to be honest, Faux Hammer, my buddy.
Faux Hammer doesn't think I'm knowledgeable.
Do you think he was found in a cave like Gandalf's sword?
Were you? Email us. Let us know. Were you found in a cave like Gandalf's sword? Tell us what cave
you come from.
Listen, dude.
We could probably do a podcast on soundtracks, though. I reckon.
I think so. Yeah. One more thing for Faux Hammer. Really interesting hearing about the origins of your name. This is something that you may find interesting. A friend of mine, one of my best friends, is called Beren, who is named after the character of Beren in Tolkien mythology. I guess it's from. I think he's in the Silmarillion.
Oh yeah.
But it's the story that Aragorn tells at Weathertop.
I know. Yep.
And is it Beren and Luthien? Is it Luthien?
I think it's similar, close to that.
Something like that. And that's what his parents were big Tolkien fans, and they named him Beren after that character.
Nice,
which is nice.
Nice
touch.
Because the emails have taken up a fair chunk. I mean, we digress quite a bit in the emails.
Oh my god, we've spent an hour answering emails. I like that.
Yeah, me too. I just want to say, and obviously, once we're back on track recording weekly, we'll have a bit more, because I've got a few things to talk about, but I'm going to save them for next time. But sure. I just want to, a guy from the store I game at, A&B Games, in case I haven't said it before.
Every episode.
Well, I just want to get them out there. A guy called Matt bought his friend he goes to uni in Cardiff, and he came down and he told me that he'd listened to the podcast on a recommendation from Matt because he was travelling and he had some time to kill.
Cool, man.
His name's Josh Crane. Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Shout out to my boy Josh Crane.
Josh Crane and Matt Phillips. So thanks, buddies.
Oh, Matt Phillips. I recognise his name from Facebook.
He
interacts with us.
He talks to us a fair bit. But Josh said to me, he came to F&M on Friday and told me that the whole reason he's there and the whole reason he bought Magic cards and wanted to play is because of the podcast and listening to me talk about Magic.
Your dream is coming true.
It humbled me.
You're spreading the love.
I couldn't be more happy.
You're spreading the love.
I know.
Almost as much as you spread cum on a porn magazine.
He spent a bit of money on booster packs, and I asked, do I get some sort of commission for this? Because I'm bringing you business.
Yeah, what did they say?
No. But Josh, honestly, I couldn't have been more humbled, and it was a pleasure to meet you. And when you're back in the summer, let's hang out and game. Maybe me and you and Matt and Josh can go to the pub and play some games and drink some drinks.
Drink some ales and talk of battles past.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Have you seen in the Trip when they're talking? Then they're like, "Gentlemen to bed. For tomorrow we rise at 8:30 for 9."
How good is the Trip?
It's really funny. I've been watching it recently.
It's one of my favourite shows ever.
How easy is it for us to digress, by the way?
But I'm gonna, because the Trip is worth it. I'm not a huge Coogan fan, but I love the bit. Have you seen all of the first series?
Yeah, I think I watched I watched a lot of it when I was sort of half paying attention.
I love the bit where he's having a dream and like there's a headline and he's like,
oh yeah,
is it true you're a cunt? Because it says here Steve Coogan is a cunt. He's like, well, I don't know who said that, but they're wrong. And it's like, says his dad at the bottom.
They were like, it can't be someone who knows me.
Yeah.
Steve Coogan is cunt, says dad.
That bit, I love that bit because it kind of plugs into the neurosis of both the actors. Like they're playing versions of themselves and it's heightened and they're taking the piss.
Yeah.
But I love the kind of the one-upmanship they always tried to do to each other, the singing and the impressions and stuff.
They're like, they hate each other but love each other at the same time.
It's good. Thanks Josh, thanks Matt. Honestly, you probably don't understand how humbling it was to like meet you and
honestly,
for
guys,
you to say those things.
Steve, like, he was like a girl who'd just fallen in love with an actor, you know, that you'd seen in a chick flick.
Yeah,
and that sounded incredibly sexist of me. But what I mean was, you sounded like a little child who was really giddy with excitement.
It was cool. Thank you. So thanks Matt, thanks Josh. But that's kind of it for the email front.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of email answering. I like this. I want to I want more emails. Oh, no, I'll say this at the end. I want to give a lecture about our iTunes. I want to encourage people to.
We'll do it now because you've mentioned it now.
Okay.
Can you please subscribe and review the podcast?
Yeah, and we're not just, don't review it if you're like, oh, it's shit, but I'm their mate, so I'll do it anyway. If you genuinely like it and you want to say something nice about us, the more subscriptions and reviews we get in the first 90 days of being active, and we've probably been active for about 45 days now.
Maybe that, yeah.
We could get put into the new and noteworthy section on iTunes, which means that more people will listen to us, and we will get more emails to answer and more people going, hey, nice one.
Yeah,
and
so
ultimately we want more people to enjoy the things that we enjoy talking about.
If you listen to us on SoundCloud or YouTube, I'm guessing you've probably got some sort of device that you can get iTunes on. Do us a solid and just, you don't even have to write a review, just hit 5 stars on it. But please just give us a subscribe. Give us a share, and give us some likes because iTunes is probably going to be the best platform for us to podcast on.
I think it's the best way of getting out there if we get noticed, if we get on some sort of platform like the new and noteworthy.
But so
we do say cunt a lot. I don't know if that affects it.
It's explicit, so there's other explicit podcasts. Kevin Smith's podcasts are always up
he's
the
like
top.
Cunt.
Ricky Gervais's podcasts are always up the top, and they swear. So, please, and look, if you're probably going to get tired of hearing us say it, but we are going to mention it a lot. So please do it. And whilst I'm at it, this isn't the end. Go on.
No, you finish your. I was being rude and interrupting.
No, it's fine. Go on. I can't remember now.
Oh, you were saying.
Whilst we're at it, but I can't remember what came next.
Okay. Whilst we're talking about podcasts, I've discovered one that I'm really enjoying, which I wanted to tell you about anyway, but I may as well tell the listeners as well. Give them a shout out. Yeah. It's called Potter and Daughter. Have you heard of it?
No.
Oh man, it's the best. You'll love it. It's basically this guy going through chronologically the Harry Potter books with his 7-year-old daughter.
Oh really?
And it's like they're reading through it together, and he's like, now what do you think of this scene? What does this mean to you? And they're like analysing the books together.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's got her innocent views of a 7-year-old who I don't think has finished reading them yet.
Okay.
Oh, she's so sweet, and like he seems like such a cool dad as well. It's called Potter and Daughter, and I'll probably post on Twitter a link to it because they're very good.
Oh yeah, I want to hear it. Because I've been thinking about.
Oh, and their theme tune is a song from Harry and the Potters.
Oh well, that just makes me feel.
That makes you want to listen, yeah.
Because I was thinking about maybe doing a Dungeons and Dragons podcast as.
Oh yeah.
Quite possibly either a side event to BeardWags or just under its own name because it might be a regular thing anyway.
But
I think
it should be its own thing.
I want to try and get a group of people together once a month to play D&D, but actually record it whilst we play it because you don't. D&D, you don't need paper other than jotting notes on, so people could listen to us role playing and enjoy it anyway. So coming soon, it will be shared by BeardWags, but it might not necessarily be called BeardWags. It might, because there'll be more than just the two of us, so it might be something different.
What would be cool is if we came up with characters together, and like the clan, it was like the clan of BeardWag or something.
Yeah.
So like the BeardWags influence is just something in the lore of what we play.
I like that. But yeah, so I'll be looking at doing that, but that'll be somewhere in the next couple of months, because we've got a lot of things going on. And
yeah,
I'm going to give a plug to the website I'm writing for as well, because
yes,
you can see some articles written by me on a site that's launching soon called Geek Guardians. It's been set up by a dude that I know through work called Richard Marshall. It's not quite ready yet because we still need some more articles, and to be honest, because I've been off work, I've been a bit lazy on that front. But
you've been doing shit. You've been doing other shit.
I've written a bunch, and if you want to see my views on some TV shows and the X-Files and stuff, then go to Twitter at Geek Guardians and wait for it to launch, because you can read what I have to say. I mean, if you at all care about it. If you don't, then that's fine too.
Yeah, if you don't, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's becoming like a bit of a constant thing. We do tend to tell people to fuck off.
That's fine. I think they find it endearing. It's one of our charms.
Well, I hope they don't take it seriously, because we're trying to not attack listeners. Jesus Christ,
attract
Alex.
them.
Attract listeners.
It's fine. I mean, if everyone listened to me when I told them to fuck off, I'd have no friends.
Ali would be out the door.
Yeah.
Your mum would be like... That's actually your reaction when someone caught you masturbating in the petrol station.
Yeah,
you were like, fuck off then.
Yeah.
If you don't want to watch, fuck off.
Well, you don't want to buy this jizz-soaked porn? Fuck off. So we've answered some emails. We've caught up.
We do. I had 3 other things that I want to talk about, but I think I want to save them for another one and move straight on to Steve as a fucking nerd, if that's okay with you.
I had a few things I wanted to talk about, but I think we can do them another time.
If we carry on with those 2 things and then do all our other bits, that'll be a 2-hour episode.
Yeah. Let's go. Do you want to do nerd first or educating Alex?
We nerd first. We usually finish on educating Alex, don't we?
Yeah, that sounds nice.
That sounds... I like that.
Yeah.
The guy who trained me up at work, he has this saying, which is, just because I like it doesn't mean you have to. And it's really good to say. I say it during sex sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah.
I've said it before.
She's like, good, because I don't like it.
Yeah. I've said it once and I'll say it a million times. She's a lucky lady.
Steve is a fucking nerd. That's the theme tune. Stop texting, that's so rude.
Well, look, I asked someone for some help with the podcast. I asked for a name, so I'm just replying and saying, like, thank you. I asked Matt for Josh's name.
You were just so quickly on the defence. You were like, well, it was to do with work, so I'm sorry.
You're the one that's normally buzzing away.
I know, yeah, this is the first one when my phone hasn't vibrated.
Go on.
Yet.
Steve is a fucking nerd.
Don't look at my notes, because I've got the answers on
I'm
them.
not.
You do.
Looking at your face. I was going to say your tits.
My tits. Don't look. Right, just don't look down here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, because my line of vision isn't like straight ahead where your fucking notebook is.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking away.
Now these questions are quite difficult.
Okay.
Because I figure if you don't get them right, it doesn't really matter.
Well, because I'm learning. The answers are teaching me. In a way, it's kind of like educating Steve.
Yeah.
Educating both of us, because you probably had to research some of it.
But Steve doesn't need education because he's knowledgeable.
You're not bitter.
No,
that was really catty.
Not at all.
Meow.
Oh, what was that noise? Oh, it was the door. Okay, ready. Question number 1.
Yep.
We're talking about the new Ant-Man trailer today, which kind of looks quite cool. I think
it does. It looks pretty nifty.
The way I've described it on Twitter is cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I was skeptical going in because of the development issues, but the trailer made me chuckle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. The bit with the train.
Yeah, it was Thomas. Yeah.
Yes, I know his name. You're like, yes, Thomas. We're friends. Okay, sorry. Question number 1. We've seen the Ant-Man trailer.
Yep.
Got me thinking about Ant-Man.
I don't know much about Ant-Man.
Well, this is why I've kind of made this question a bit vague.
Sure.
In what decade did Ant-Man make his first appearance?
60s?
Yes.
Whee!
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say what year, but then I thought, well, that's mean, because... What year would you have said?
If I'm right, Ant-Man was in one of the very first Avengers teams, so I probably around 64, 65.
That's probably when he did join the Avengers. His first appearance was in 62.
62, okay.
Called, I can't remember what it was called. It was like People of Interest or something like that.
You know, you said about the text.
Yeah.
I just said to Matt, thanks for that, because rude, but I forgot the guy's name like off the top of my head.
Oh, right.
And I messaged him and said, look, thank you, I'm just giving you both a shout. And he's replied and said, thanks for that, can you call him a cunt from me? So Josh, you're a cunt from Matt.
You're a cunt from Matt.
Yeah.
And also from the two of us.
Yeah, BeardWags endorses that message. Go on, question 2.
Okay, now this is quite a tough one. You're looking at my notes again.
I'm not looking at your notes.
This slimming world is making you anxious.
Damn it.
We're both Blink-182 fans.
We are.
Can you list their studio albums in order?
Oh, Christ.
And I've got...
Are you including the EPs?
No, just the studio albums.
I'll have a pop.
I'll have a poop.
Buddha. Have you got them to hand?
Why isn't Buddha there?
Does Buddha count as an EP?
Oh, no. Now, listen, I think Buddha should be there, but I think that was recorded with
Scott
Rayner.
Yeah, but so was Cheshire Cat.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe they redid... Okay, so... I haven't got Buddha.
Have you got Cheshire Cat as the first one?
Yeah.
And Cheshire Cat, Dude Ranch.
Yeah.
Enema of the State.
Yeah.
Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Yeah.
And then Untitled or Self-Titled, depending on how you view it.
Self-titled. Blink-182. It's
they did Neighbourhoods.
Yeah.
Followed by an EP called Dogs Eat Dogs.
There you go. Dogs Eating Dogs. That's good. Buddha isn't actually on there on the Wikipedia.
It went EP.
I think
Buddha might be an EP. I don't know.
Possibly.
But I'm
yeah.
sure it was an album.
I reckon that they went back and recorded from Cheshire Cat onwards with Travis.
Possibly.
But
yeah, you had because the very first thing they recorded was called Fly Swatter.
Oh, was it?
It was it was like a 3-track demo.
Oh, that's cool. I bet it sounded shit.
Their early stuff is pretty.
Oh, man.
I mean, they're not exactly musical geniuses, but
Travis is.
They're good. Yeah, but they're good fun regardless.
Yeah. You got it right. Well done. That's good. Okay, now this is a hard one as well.
Go on.
And I had to consult my my phone a friend who was Luke Cordell off of Luke's film blog.
Yeah.
Google that, Luke's film blog. We mentioned it last time. Really good film blog. He's a really big Star Wars fan. He's done a YouTube video called Star Wars in Memoriam, where he's got an RIP to all the Star Wars characters who die with Ian Aldi playing in the background piano. It's very sad and very funny. But what is the first named character to die in the Star Wars franchise? And we're not including people like, I asked him the first people to die. He said, it will be the captain and the first mate of the ship that Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan arrive in for the negotiations. And I was like, okay.
So you're saying from episode 1?
Yeah. So the first chronologically to die.
Not a fucking clue.
I can give you some clues because I didn't know unless he told me. Pod racing is a dangerous sport. Can you remember any of the podcaster names?
Well, they're not podcasters.
I mean, fucking pod racers.
Is it his like arch enemy pod racer who's got like
Sebulba? He survived.
I don't know. Then go on, tell me.
His name is Rats Tyrell.
Do you know why I don't know much about Star Wars Episode 1?
Because it's
a fucking travesty. I thought I was gonna go for Episode 4, but
Can I tell you about Luke? He's really knowledgeable about Star Wars, and he said that what he found and showed us a while ago when he'd moved out of his mum's house after uni again to move back to Bath, he found an old Star Wars Episode 1 manual you get, where you'd like fill it in with your details and stuff. And on it, because his name's Luke, it said name, and he wrote Luke Skywalker in brackets joke, and then put Cordell at the end.
Oh dear.
And then it said underneath it planet Tatooine in brackets joke Earth. Like in brackets he was like joke, just in case people thought he was really Luke Skywalker.
Someone read it and went, holy shit balls.
Oh my god, what's he doing buying a Star Wars manual about himself?
Nice.
So yeah, I said what's the first notable death? He said depends what your interpretation of notable is. Some would say Qui-Gon, whereas I'd say poor Rats Tyrell during the pod race. Not enough people die because they're trying to establish guys like Boss Nass. So yeah, that's an interesting one. Rats Tyrell.
Yeah, I like that.
Number 4.
Yep.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yep.
What is the name of Thor's most well-known alias, alter ego? So in the comics, when he's mortal and he's the guy he's got a limp, I believe.
Don't know.
They reference him in the movie, but very subtly.
I genuinely don't know.
Is
it a doctor?
I don't know if he is a doctor. I think he's a scientist. Oh, maybe he is a doctor actually. Yeah,
do you know what's throwing me off is that I'm currently reading the Ultimates again from Miller and Hitch, and their version is obviously very different. But go on, what is he?
Donald Blake.
That's it.
Yeah, I knew you knew it.
In the Ultimates thing, he's like he is still called Blake, I think, but he wakes up from like a coma.
Yeah.
And he's 4, but before that he was just like some like
nobody,
like research assistant or something.
Yeah.
And they all think he's just like mental, like he's got superpowers, but he's not really from thingy. So.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't go down that route in the movies. I'm glad they just.
He is in the comic book he is actually from he is actually Odin's son, but they just think he's a delusional crackpot.
Oh, I thought that he was sort of put into the body of a mortal who already existed.
No, well they just trying to sort of throw you off a little bit, but 2 for 2. Yes. 2 right, 2 wrong.
Yeah. And we got number 5, which is you probably know the answer to. I've got a bit of background on it as well. It's about Legend of Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember in the Ocarina of Time where you're in Kokiri Village at the beginning?
No.
When you before so when
do you mean the village you start in?
Yeah.
You're where all the people live.
That's Kokiri Village, right?
Yeah, it rings a bell, but
I think
I thought it maybe. Yeah, I think so.
So do you remember when you walk around and you have to go and see the Deku Tree, and but that annoying little fuck won't let you through, and he like shuffles around?
Yeah.
What's his name? And who is he?
What do you mean? Who is he? He's just the fucking.
Well, yeah. Or who does he claim to be?
Is his name like Fido or something really annoying like that?
You were so close. It's unbelievable.
What is it?
It's Mido.
Mido
or Mido. It's Mido. So I guess Mido.
Oh.
And he's such a little wanker. I was thinking about him the other day. The way he shuffles across, and he's like, "No, little fucking nerd."
Yeah.
But I was reading about him, and this just made me laugh a bit. At the start of the game, Mido can be found blocking the path leading to the Great Deku Tree's meadow. He refuses to let Link pass without a sword and shield, and reluctantly lets him pass when he returns with the Kokiri sword and Deku shield in hand. After Link fails to rescue the Great Deku Tree from the curse placed on him by Ganondorf, Mido blames Link for the death of the wise tree. That's just quite sad. He just blames him.
What a little boffin.
Considering and who he claims to be is like the leader of Kokiri Village.
Yeah, he does, when actually he's a ginger little cunt.
I know, yeah. I'm glad he's dead, probably.
Yeah, fuck it. Why?
I heard they found him face down in a pool of his
own. Don't they live forever, the kids in that place?
Well, they don't grow up, do they? And that's why when Link comes back as grown-up Link, they're like, who the hell are you? And
but I tell you what, you can be sure they died when it got flooded for the Wind Waker, so fuck them.
Oh, God, yeah. How many innocent people died during the...
Don't care.
No. Don't care. They're all cunts. Fuck them.
Good questions. I like that.
Well, I'm going to count that because you got it nearly right. So let's say half.
2.5.
Let's say half. You got 2.5 out of 5. That's pretty good considering I was like, these are going to be tough. I was going to be surprised if you got any of them.
Thank you.
So you did well. That was Steve's a fucking nerd. I enjoyed that.
That was good. Some good questions.
Thanks.
I like it.
Educate me.
All right. Educating Alex. What do you reckon I'm going to teach you about? What have we been playing a bit recently?
Minecraft?
Yeah, we have.
Hey!
Got a few Minecraft related things. They're probably things you know, but I thought...
Mein Kampf.
Moving on. So just a few bits and pieces about Minecraft, just because it's a fun game we've been playing. It's relevant. When do you reckon it was first released? Alpha.
2006.
9.
Oh, okay.
I've been playing since 2010. So,
cool.
So the alpha version was released on PC in 2009. The full version was released November 18th, 2011. Got a few facts here. Came out on Android October 7th, 2011, and iOS November 17th, 2011. The 360 on May the 9th, 12. PS3 on December 17th, 13. PS4 on September the 4th, 14, and the Xbox One the next day. And then Windows Phone was the most recent release, which was December 10th, 14. It has as of October 2014, so this is 5 months ago,
Yeah.
sold over 60 million copies.
Jesus Christ.
12 of those alone on the Xbox 360. And 18
12.
of them, 12 million copies on the Xbox 360.
12 copies.
12 million on the 360 and 18 million or more on the PC.
That is terrifying, considering it's just created by 2 chaps.
Yeah, definitely. And it is actually the most played game on Xbox Live by a fair margin.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet you buy it the majority under 16s as well.
Probably, yeah. My brother Alfie plays it on 360 all the time.
Kids love like the YouTube videos from what's his name?
Yeah, I know who you mean.
A friend at work, she was like, "Oh yeah, my son, I can see him."
There's the Yogs cast. They watch
things
quite
like that. And
my brother Alfie, if he's not playing Minecraft, he's normally watching videos on his tablet.
I think it's great. I think it's like you're in the money. I think Milby does a lot of YouTube videos for Minecraft.
Totaled Xbox Live players have collectively banked up 2 billion hours of playtime, which is 230,000 years.
That's a piece of piss.
Collectively,
I can get 2 million hours of gaming in one day.
Yeah. In case you didn't know, it's a sandbox game created by Marcus Notch, in brackets, Pearson, who developed it alone but ended up founding Mojang with 2 other people and making it from there. It's basically, you can do anything you want. You can play creative, where you can just fly around and build stuff. You can play survival, where you have to fight off monsters and live and get food so you can survive. What
I've learned about it is that it's pretty grim, like the scenario that is based in, like this post-apocalyptic world.
Well, it's moved on to have other, like Don't Starve was based on the idea of Minecraft, and that takes it to a whole new level. But yeah, I mean, adventure modes are some of my favourite like mods. So like there's the Hunger Games versions where you actually get 12 of you get dumped in an arena and you have an hour to kill everyone else to win the game. I remember me and Tom were doing it once, and there was 4 of us left, me, Tom and these other 2 dudes, and they were in a tower shooting, and we killed them, and then I just turned around and shot Tom in the face.
Oh no.
I was like, winner.
Was he annoyed?
Probably.
You're such a twat. Winner.
But yeah, that's fun. And also there's like a Harry Potter server where you have to be sorted into a house and stuff.
Really?
Which is just good fun.
I want to play that.
Here's some other facts. The Danish Geodata Agency made a 1:1 scale, so 2 scale recreation of the entirety of Denmark.
I heard about this.
They used 4,000 billion blocks to build it. And if you download it, it takes up a terabyte of storage.
Download it on your new computer.
Well, take up half the hard drive.
On something that you'll open once and be like, cool.
Cool, yeah. I'm sure you know, but Microsoft bought Mojang for a record 2.5 billion on the November 2014.
Notch must be swimming in hookers.
Well, this is something that I found funny. I remember hearing about it. Notch, I wrote it down because it's such a cool one. He outbid Jay-Z and Beyonce for their $17 million Hollywood home they wanted to buy.
Good. Fuck you, Jay-Z and Beyonce.
He went and bought it, and apparently it's the most money spent on a house in Hollywood.
Really?
But I just think that's so cool. Like, they were bidding, and some like slightly portly Swedish guy comes along and goes, "I'll take that, please." Yeah.
Sit down, Mr. and Mrs. Z.
There's like 13 bathrooms in there, and each bathroom costs like $6,000 or something, you know.
I mean, if I were him, I mean, I imagine he had quite a modest life before he made a lot of money. And I imagine he's probably not doing it in a flashy, show-offy way. Right. He's just gone, do you know what? I'm just going to buy the biggest house I can.
Live the rest of his days making independent...
Is he married or anything?
Don't think so.
I wonder if he's going to do anything else.
But, well, he'll just carry on making independent games. Like, he made Scrolls and stuff. So I think he doesn't want to be part... The reason he left when Microsoft bought Mojang is because he didn't want to be involved in such a big company. He just wants to be able to make his own games.
Sure.
So I think that's cool. He'll probably just end up developing other games, which is cool. Here's a few sort of in-game sort of facts. There are more than 350 splash messages. You know, the yellow text. You know when you log in, it says Minecraft. There's yellow text. Random messages. There's over 350 of those.
Oh, cool! And they just say like random little things.
Yeah. Apparently, if you go into the game files and delete the file that holds those splash messages, it says Mrs. Signu, which was the Pokemon that you found. Yeah, my favourite splash message that I've seen is the one that says "Totally forgot about Dre." Love it.
No way.
It's all pop culture stuff, isn't it? If you kill a pig or cow with fire, the dropped meat is cooked.
And a chicken.
Chicken. You can sleep. I didn't know this one. You can sleep during a day thunderstorm. So if it's thunder and lightning during the day, you can go and sleep.
That's cool.
The Enderman sounds are actually recorded words played backwards and distorted. So people have read words and then they've
fucking terrifying.
Reversed them. Yeah,
that freaks me out. Those Enderman sounds.
Yeah. And then lava flows 7 blocks in the Nether instead of 4, and it's easier to catch fish in the rain. Just a few Minecraft things.
Easier to catch fish in the rain.
Yeah.
Maybe they come up to the top thinking it's insects and they're like num 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 num.
I like playing Minecraft, but
Minecraft is a very good game.
Do you know where you two ran off to? You and Tom ran off to build something.
Oh yeah.
He stupidly put it into creative mode and teleported back to me because he was like, "Oh, I want to show you where it is, so I'll teleport you over here and then teleport you back."
Yeah.
He teleported back. And then I told him off. I was like, "Stop fucking putting it in creative mode." Like, I'm of the opinion that if you want to build stuff creatively, do it. But if you're playing survival, just stick to survival.
Yeah.
Because like he'll do things like he'll put it on and then he'll give himself some. He doesn't do it anymore, but he'll turn it on and then quickly give himself some diamonds or something.
Really?
Or give everyone some diamonds, and I'm like, that just doesn't seem fair. What's the point of me spending ages building a mine shaft and finding diamonds if you're just going to give them to you? So I gave him a bollocking, so he turned it off, and then he was like, right, well, I can't fucking find where we are. And even if he turned it back on and teleported, he doesn't remember the chords.
Really?
So he's completely lost now.
He when you went offline,
God,
I shouldn't tell you, but he put it into creative mode and started flying about, and he was like, "Don't tell Steve, don't tell Steve." And then I was like, "Why are you still doing it?" He goes, "I can't turn it off."
Look, he turned it on and he teleported because he wanted to show me something. That I'm not saying that's fine, but that's okay. But it's when you put it in creative mode and give yourself stuff.
It's his server anyway.
Yeah,
like,
fuck it, yeah.
I find it's like. Have you ever gone into like creative mode and just like gone and just fucking trashed the place? Like poured like flint and what's it called? Flint and steel, is it? Lighting trees on fire, watching forests burn down, and being like, "This is destruction." I've done that before, and that was fun. And like also to clear big spaces for like practicing builds and stuff.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with creative mode for building, but I like if I'm going to play a survival server.
Yeah.
Then I just want to keep it survival. But Tom, that's fine. It's Tom's server. He can do what he wants. But when he gives me stuff that he's got from creative mode, I just chuck it away. Yeah. Because I feel like I'm getting an advantage that I don't want. But that's just me. If he wants to turn it off, started flying and then couldn't work out how to turn it off.
Yeah, he was like, "Don't tell Steve."
The thing is, he doesn't fit. Like when you turn it to creative mode, it flashes up. So like he turned it to creative mode, and I was like, "Dude, why are you putting on creative mode?" He's like, "I haven't." I was like, "It fucking tells me you have, so don't tell me it hasn't."
Why does it tell you as well, though? Are you like a mod?
Well, no, because the parameters of the game have been changed. You just get a message saying game mode changed to this, or Rubido has done this to the game.
Okay, yeah.
So if he changes the rules, we know about it.
Sure. Oh, okay. I didn't know though. Until he.
It probably would have flashed up in your text box, but
okay.
But yeah, so a little bit about Minecraft.
That was interesting. I can't believe that he outbid Beyonce and Jay-Z for
Good.
their house.
Good.
Like the amount those two make together, and he was like, "Do you know what?
The amount they make together, and now they're like, let's make some more."
Yeah.
By launching.
Oh, don't! I'm not getting you started on that.
Do you know what?
Napster 2 or whatever it's called.
You said you wanted to have a little rant about. I'm not going to do Tidal now, but there is something before we go because should go now.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing that I want to get rid of is
this fart.
No, people saying hollybobs instead of holiday.
Oh my god!
Right,
I was thinking about that the other day.
Hollybobs and hollybob and holiday are the same amount of letters.
Yeah,
like it's abbreviations annoy me anyway. Like, oh, don't be gel, but at least it's like
I like that.
I guess it's shorter, so it's not taking as much time. If you're going to say hollybobs, just fucking say holidays. Like. It's not endearing and it's not cute. I just think you're a dozy cunt, basically.
I find it's more of a dialect thing. But living in Bath, we had the old West Country accent, and a lot of people were like, my girlfriend's called Charlie, for example. They were like, "Come on, hello, Shar. You right, Shar?" I just don't understand Shar.
Up in Wales, I get called Stee quite a bit.
I like that. I like Stee.
I can understand that, but hollybobs, every time I see it on Facebook, I have to hold back from writing like, "Fuck you."
Just an acquaintance who's added you on Facebook.
I tell you what,
offer my hollybobs, can't wait.
Go on your hollybobs. Don't come back.
Oh,
spare me your Facebook status. In fact, I might delete you. I'm putting you in the same category as people that share Britain First posts. Goodbye.
Yeah. My friend, we were having a barbecue at uni once, and he was like, "Oh, I love barbecues. Reminds me of like growing up. My dad always calls us sausages, sausabibs." And we were like, "Why? It's the same amount of letters." He's like, "Dunno, it's just funny."
Abbreviations and word change have to at least abbreviate or use up less syllables.
Use less syllables or be done in an ironic way.
Yeah, okay, like if I turned around to you tomorrow and said I'm off for my hollybobs, you'd know I was taking the piss. But these people think they're being cute, and it's just like, fuck you, man.
Now let's stop hating on people and let's tell people where they can listen to us.
Yeah, not if they like going on hollybobs.
Yeah, if you're on your hollybobs, take us with you and listen.
No, don't.
It's like having Steve and Alex in your pocket.
How cool is that?
That would be cool.
I want to be in your pocket. Can I give you a handy J after this in your pocket?
What? What's pockets got to do with hand jobs?
Well,
although, have you ever you could put your hand in your pocket and then masturbate through the pocket?
That's what I'm saying. That way, I don't actually have to touch that dishriveled thing you called a penis.
Oh, it's not. It's just It looks
cute. It looks like a little
diabetic worm.
Yeah, a vole.
Ah, a vole who's been soaked in water and is terrified of death. That's my penis on a good day.
Yeah, we'll probably put some pictures of that up soon.
Yeah, and on that note,
you can find us on Twitter
at BeardWags.
Yeah, I'm not spelling it. It's in the logo.
Yeah, we got to stop doing.
Please email us or tweet us questions. The email is beardwags@gmail.com. That
was fun answering emails about people who want advice.
Yeah, I like that.
And any questions you might have.
Yeah, give us some follow-ups and I like the person who sent us a list of questions that we could answer quite quickly. That was fun.
Yeah.
Give us anything as well. You asked us about embarrassing stories. I feel like I've fulfilled my role on that. So.
Oh man, I didn't know you'd stoop to such levels.
More stories, more questions, please, and just it prompts us. We fill up the episodes nicely. We digress and. Fills them out. So this one's a bit longer because we haven't spoken in a while.
You're going to asking for these questions. We're going to have to start a feature called "Guess What Steve's Spuffed On Next." It's like I spuffed on
your
dog.
Drum kit.
And people have to guess.
Was it yourself that was saying you hate Step Brothers? No, it wasn't you. Was
it?
The
film. I love it.
No, it's one of my friends. I was just going to say I'm going to put my nutsack on your drum kit,
and he does.
I was talking to someone who's like, I hate it, but I know so many nobodies that I forget which one's which.
No one's as important as you.
Well, look, not according to Slimming World and Josh. Slimming World and Josh are my pros.
Josh actually works for Slimming World.
Yeah, he does.
He's like they hire someone to make you feel good about yourself, so you don't.
He looked me up online. He was like, if I compliment him about that podcast that he does that I've never listened to,
then he'll lose.
There's one called Magic the Gathering. If I pretend I like the game, and he was like, "Hey, Stev." I was like,
Stev.
"How did you know my name?" Stev.
That's how I knew you worked with Slimming World.
So
well done on your weight loss. That's really good.
Thank you. I'll keep you posted next week on what's going on.
Cool. We will be back again next week. This time we promise we will.
Yeah, we're going to do it. We can't always do it weekly.
No, it's been a busy couple of weeks, but we know you guys don't mind. We know you're cool.
Feature-length episode to make up for it.
Yeah.
Catch you on the flip side, I guess.
Catch you on the flip side. Remember to subscribe and comment and review us on iTunes.
Yeah, and get your friends to do it too.
Yeah, and
get them to listen. Whilst they're on their hollybobs, because it's nearly summer.
You're going to have to let that go.
I'm not going to let it go. Stop the podcast so I can rant.
Let it go.
Fuck you.
Oh, bye.
Stop the podcast so I can rant about it some more, please.